Go ahead.
The way I understand my constitutional obligations, pursuant to the 6th and 14th Amendments of the United States Constitution, the corresponding sections of the Georgia Constitution, I'm required to make a full and complete statement to the court. For the record, and if God forbid this goes up on appeal for the appellate courts or another tribunal, commission, or administrative body, I was told, based upon information and belief, that when we arrived at 8:30, 9 o'clock today, we did not come into your courtroom until almost 11:30. And what I found out just recently, this is not waived, is that supposedly in chambers, this honorable court reporter at times, honorable court at times, district attorney or district attorneys from the DA's office, as well as investigators, sheriff deputies, Mr. Copeland and his counsel met together. None of the defense team, to my knowledge, was aware that this was going on. It was told, based upon information belief, that it was told to the district attorneys that Mr. Copeland intended to plead the Fifth Amendment. Then I was told, based upon information belief, that Adrian Love, the lawyer for Mr. Copeland and this court, were together, and Ms. Love made representations that John Melnick supposedly spoke with some attorneys for the accused and wrote an email to Ms. Love, to Adrian Love, stating that Mr. Melnick does not represent the witness, and that Mr. Melnick wrote an email saying F you, and then somehow that email was CC'd to me. That never...
Mr. Steele, can I interrupt you for just a second? I'm kind of disturbed because that's ex parte. All that was an ex parte conversation. How did you find out about any of that?
Well, I'm disturbed too. And the reason
I'm asking you a question. How did you find out about it?
I'm going to ask you the question.
Okay.
Scuttle, if you look at SCUDDER versus State, which is 298 Georgia, 438, it's Division 2, 782 Southeast 2D 638, 2016. Our highest court says when a court meets, because Mr. Copeland comes in, meets with the court supposedly made statements, which I assume is somewhat accurate based upon what you just said. We're entitled, Mr. Williams and every other person wrongly charged here is entitled under the Georgia Constitution to be present. That's a critical stage.
It's just like when you meet with me, and you and Mr. Adams meet with me, and others have met with me. It's those are ex parte for a lot of different other reasons, but I will certainly note that for purposes of record.
Well, I'm going forward. What I was told was that Mr. Copeland said...
And you haven't answered my question yet.
I'm not going to answer that question.
You're not?
No, I will not answer that question.
Why will you not answer that question?
Because I want to make sure that what I say is accurate, and I'm not trying to...
No. I'm asking you, how did you get this information?
I'm not telling the court. What I'm saying is based upon information...
Okay, well, listen, if you don't tell me how you got this information, then you and I are going to have some problems.
We can have... I have problems right now.
Okay, I know. Look, I don't want to know about your problems, okay, at this point in time. All I'm asking you at this point in time is, how did you come upon this information? Look, if the case gets reviewed, the record's going to be available for our appellate court and for whatever reason. But it's disturbing that how somehow you have surreptitiously gotten information in regards to the court's private ex parte conversation with a party. I mean,
yes. A witness who was sworn in Friday, the court's telling, this is what I was told. If this is not true, not true. This court handed Mr. Copeland.
Tell me how you got the information.
Listen, whatever you want to do.
Tell me how you got the information, then we can go ahead and go forward.
I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to say is this. I was told, and I hope this concerns the court.
It concerns me that you have proprietary information.
Why is it proprietary?
Or information that you should not be having that was ex parte.
Why?
With a party.
Why?
State of Georgia.
How about the witness? How about Mr. Copeland, who supposedly announced he's not testifying and he'll sit for 2 years, and then supposedly this honorable court, or excuse me, let me rephrase that. This court supposedly said, I can hold you until the end of this trial. Ms. Hilton supposedly said, actually, all of the defendants and then all 26 people are disposed of. If that's true, what this is is coercion, witness intimidation, ex parte communications that we have a constitutional right to be present for. So I understand that you're upset towards me, but I don't know what I did.
Mr. Steele, I still want to know, how did you come upon this information? Who told you?
What I want to know is, why wasn't I there? Why,
sir? I'm going to hold you in contempt if you don't tell me who tell me who this information was
I don't
come
want to be
from.
held in contempt.
Well,
I'm not answering that question. That's attorney-client privilege information. I am not answering
attorney-client privilege. Unless you were in my chambers, that's the only way you can figure out.
I am telling
I tell you what, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. If you don't tell me, if you don't tell me who it is, I'm going to put you. I'm going to put you in contempt because that is not attorney-client privilege.
Attorney work product privilege. I am not.
How did you get that information supposedly from my chambers? Did somebody tell you?
I'm not. You should have told me.
You got 5 minutes.
Well, I don't need it. I want to continue.
You got 5 minutes?
This is what I was told. Mr. Copeland made statements that he admitted to killing Donovan Thomas and was. Don't take my notes. No.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. You know what we're about to do tonight. We got some stuff to talk about this YSL trial. I wanted to just take the time tonight to kind of clear up a couple of questions that we had out there. I've seen several times. And one of the questions, as you saw in the thumbnail, is Judge Whitaker breaking the law? And I'm going to answer that question. Actually, I have a guest that'll be coming on in a moment who will help us answer that question of whether or not Judge Whitaker is actually breaking the law. But with some of the things we want to talk about, I see a lot of people are wanting to talk about Little D and his arrest on Friday night, yesterday. And what's that mean for the rest of the trial? And of course, did they in fact arrest him at the hospital after he was in the hospital sick? So of course, we want to talk about that. I also want to talk about why this RICO case is like it is. Why is it stacked like it is? And it's such like that. And of course, why Little Rod is involved in it, because I think that's a big issue. And we talked about that last week, but I think we've come up with an answer for why Little Rod is in there, or in the mix, if you will. And of course, we're going to talk about Brian Steele's contempt charge, because I, for the life of me, I don't understand, why is he still fighting this contempt charge, even though Judge Glanville has been removed and recused from the case? Why are we still worrying about this? There's a reason why. So I thank y'all so much for hopping in with me tonight. Thank you so much for a late night show. So I appreciate all of you. Let's just real quick. Yeah. There's a lot of baseball hand signals going on. H Sox. She says, did you see Love signal Weaver to cut the transcript? Actually, if you go back and watch that clip, the reason Judge Glanville did not want Brian Steele to read off what he was reading off is because it would be added to the transcript. And if he had allowed Brian Steele to just read it out, Ms. Weaver would have had to capture that information and add it to the transcript. And he was trying to overtalk him at the end. You can hear it. He's trying to overtalk him because he doesn't want that added to the record, because that will be just one other place that he's going to have to expunge that from, or try to figure out what, he said, Kenneth Copeland said, can I say that what if I say I deleted this person? He said it in ex parte, but now he said it in open court, and all these people heard it, and it's on the actual transcript. So good catch right there. There was a lot of baseball pulling on ears stuff from Love. I don't know why she does it, because it's pretty obvious, but no, good catch right there. Good to see you, Jill. Thank you, everybody who's already tapped in. There's 130 of y'all that have already hit the like button. That's super dope. And I'm looking forward to having a conversation with y'all on today. Who needs to be recused? Oh, we're talking about Judge Whitaker. Okay, we're going to talk about this because I think it's something. And again, I was having this conversation with a legal mind. They really think more robustly about this, and they understand this better than I do. And it's actually pretty common. And so we're going to talk about it tonight. So don't worry. Do not fear. Have no fear. I appreciate you, Retired, stopping by. H Sox is already kind of on it. She says that Little Rod is there to secure a conviction. Let's talk about it. Uh-oh, I see a couple people. Little Rod situation is wrong. I watched the Setting Nash video and that. Okay. It's interesting. The defendants wanted to go to jail, back to jail, rather than stay in the courtroom all day on Friday. Yeah, this weekend was really weird. So, the end of the week, because of course we had that half a day or the abrupt half a day on Wednesday, and then a no jury day on Thursday and Friday. And actually, Friday was actually cut short even in that. So I'm wondering, like, what happened to cause all of this? Because remember, Judge Whitaker was like, look, we got to get some work done, blah, blah, blah. And then lo and behold, they just cutting days like nobody's business. Hey, Emmanuel, thank you so much, not only for becoming a member, Emmanuel, but thank you for the very kind $10 super chat. What does he say here? YSL is a coerced trial. I don't think there's anything else we can say. I can't argue that. The pleas and involuntary immunity were coerced. Jury duty is coerced. The judge was coerced to do the trial. Now the same coerced jury must decide guilt or innocence. Wow. I'm sorry. I can't disagree. There's just a lot of shenanigans here. It does not look good for Fulton County. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Jason. I live here in Atlanta, just down the street around the corner, a little piece from Fulton County. And I think this is a horrible look for Georgia. I think this is an absolute dumpster fire of a look for Georgia. But we're going to talk about it a little bit more for real. I don't think that's the case, Shuri. We're going to talk about it though for sure. But I don't think that's the case at all. If you look at it, Tasha says, if you look at it, not being rude, if you look, she rubs the back of her head near the neck, and you can see where she's rubbing a ball spot into her head. It's very possible. It's very possible. Now I got to go back and look at it now. Now I really got to pay attention to that. I didn't see that. He did throw a fit. It was an unbecoming behavior to say the least. But the bad thing is that a lot of us have said, hey, you know what? Glanville was wrong. Glanville wasn't a good, they had problems with Glanville. But a lot of people are saying, look, I would take Glanville back. There's a lot of folks who said, look, can we get Glanville back? We'll just take him. So uh they have a sub, not a real subway. They have a light rail. Let's say a light rail system, Matthew, is not a subway like a New York or a very developed metro, but we have a light rail and we have a bus line. And yeah, so to answer your question, yeah, so it's going to be interesting. So let's get at it. I'm waiting for Black Law Student to stop on by, but he has not as of yet. So I appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and jump in and get going. If you don't mind, could you please make sure that you hit the like button? Let me know that you're here. Jump into the best live chat on the planet. What I'm going to do real quick is pull up the rule that I think we need to have a conversation about, about Judge Whitaker and this rule. And I'm going to send it to my email very quickly. And the reason being is because I don't know. I think Judge Whitaker might not be doing what she's supposed to be doing. And I know that sounds really weird. Like, she's the judge. She should be doing what she's supposed to be doing. She knows the rules, Jason. And that's probably fair. But I want to look at this rule and tell me what y'all think about it. All right, let's see. Of course, I sent it and it has not shown up yet. Of course, that would be the problem. Of course, that would be. Give it 1 second. So, and if you're interested, it is called Rule 611, and it is the mode for examining witnesses. And it's pretty interesting because following this, Judge Whitaker is not following the rules. And I'm hesitant to say she's truly breaking the law. I think that was kind of bombastic, Jason. But what she's doing is, and I'll show you in a second, once I get this thing pulled in, what she's doing is she's actually not doing everything that she's supposed to be doing. If you go back and Doug Weinstein, he reached out to Judge Whitaker and he gave wrote a motion to kind of ask them to kind of speed the trial up a little bit because it was really going long-winded, right? And here, let's pull this in now. All right. And here, this is, and I don't know why, but Judge um, Doug Weinstein didn't mention the rule per se that empowers Judge Whitaker to actually do the things that he was asking her to do. And I don't know why he didn't bring it up because this one right here is extremely would have been very beneficial to his argument. And let's just pull it in real quick and let's talk about it. And shout out to everybody that's popped in. I'm waiting for, if you're wondering, I'm waiting for my good friend, Black Law Student. He was doing a live stream on Twitter. What's it called? Twitter Speaks or something like that. He was doing that earlier, and apparently it went longer than he anticipated. So let's bring this in, Jason. Let's talk about it. Let's go. Here is Rule 611, and it's the mode and order of examining witnesses and presenting evidence. Now, notice what it says: controlled by the court, not the state, not the defense, not even the pool of people with Rule 22s. This is the court. So this is the judge. The purpose: the court or the judge should exercise responsible control over the mode and order of examining witnesses and presenting evidence so as to, and if we just stop for a second, what's that saying, Jason? It's saying that Judge Whitaker is responsible for, she can clamp down the hammer and say, you don't need to have an Infinity tech come in and talk about the Infinity, was a Q60, whatever like that. You don't need to do that. She can say that you don't need to have, now she said that you don't need to do cumulative or have cumulative interviews that just keep compounding and saying the same thing over and over again. But Judge Whitaker is able to do that. So let's look at what else it says. Make those procedures effective for determining the truth. So, of course, the only reason we are bringing this witness up is to determine the truth of what they're saying or the truth of what they're expressing and whatnot. It bolsters the truth claim of the previous person. Got you. Look at the second one, though. Avoid wasting time. How much time has a state been guilty of wasting? How many instances, rather, has a state been guilty of just outright, unequivocal, unadulterated wasting of time? A whole lot. Let's just tell the truth, right? A whole lot. And Judge Whitaker she has the ability to tell them, no, you cannot do this. So she could very well, and I know I mentioned this before, and I was kind of saying it, being funny when I said she needs to start a shot clock, but she technically could. She could say that you're wasting time by not having this witness. You're wasting time by bringing 3 people to say the exact same thing, even though that would probably be a part of the first. You don't need to have cumulative evidence, but the more she has people selling the exact same thing over and over and over again, she can actually put the kibosh on that. So Judge Whitaker actually has way more power than she's using. That does not look good, Jason. That's not bad. She has way more power than she's using, and she probably should utilize that and put the kibosh on a lot of this. Is Spaces. Thank you so much. It's called Twitter Spaces. Thank you so much. And so let's go to the last point. Hold on a second. Okay, and then lastly, protect witnesses from harassment or undue embarrassment. What did we see with Sledge? What did we see with the woman that got shot on Wednesday? What did we see? We're watching the state embarrass these witnesses. I dare say we watched them harass these witnesses, well past just a hostile witness, well past just seeking the truth or wanting to get the right answer or the answer, the correct answer from the witness. We've watched them harass them. And I mean, for the sake of with going back and looking at Sledge, when he expressed that maybe he didn't understand that plea agreement, and for them to drag him through, and it looks like they were trying to get to a place where they could throw him in jail for that. I think Judge Whitaker really should. She has the ability now, and I'm not now. She's always had the ability, and I think she should excise the ability to say no more of this. Absolutely no more of this. You've gone exactly too far. Now, you're probably wondering why hasn't anybody said anything about this? And here's the problem, I think, even with what I just said. This is fine on paper. And let me put a pin in it for a second. If you have a new driver, I have a new driver in my home. When when President Firstborn was learning how to drive, she would critique my driving. And I've been driving for a long time, right? But she would critique my driving, like, Dad, you're doing this. You're supposed to put your hands this way. You're supposed to slow down at this point. She would give me critique because she was learning how to drive. And she was correct. She was correct in her critique. There were things that, yeah, you're right. I probably am speeding. You're right. You're right, baby. That's a good catch. Thank you so much for that. The problem is on paper, she is correct. In practicality and application, you would get run over in Georgia if you drove some of the speed limits. These speed limits are crazy. So sometimes in order it's safer to follow along with everybody on the highway, because if you were driving the speed limit, you would literally get run over and that would cause more problems than it solved. So in practicality, I'm sorry, on paper, she was correct. In practicality and application, I was probably correct, or I am correct because I'm trying to stay safe. Now, where am I going with that? I think on paper, Judge Whitaker here is wrong, but I think in application, nobody's doing this and nobody's calling her out seriously, because I think especially with number two. Now they got the was it 403? They bring up the 403 um rule, of course, and they bring that up and they object based upon 403 and so on and so forth with relevancy, all that kind of jazz. But Judge Whitaker could do so much more. And I think because in practice and on paper, she could do more. In practical application, nobody's actually doing that. And I don't even think the defense is even holding her feet to the fire to do this enough. So I don't know if it necessarily that Judge Whitaker is breaking the rules or breaking the law, as I use in the thumbnail. But what I really believe is this rule is just kind of being ignored. This rule by everybody, the state, the defense, everybody's violating it. It's kind of like, what's the speed limit on your favorite highway? Do you actually know what the speed limit is? If they changed it last week, would you have known? A lot of times you probably don't. Or your most familiar stretch of road, you probably don't know what the speed limit is. And you probably don't know what your speed was last time you drove it, because you're just driving. You just kind of automatic. You're not really thinking about it anymore. Especially if you're an established driver, you're probably not focusing on it as much as you would have if you were a new driver, like my daughter. When she's a new driver, when she was learning how to drive, she was always critiquing my driving and such like that. And now that she's a driver, she realizes like this is pretty difficult to always follow all of them all the time. And I think this is one of those examples where 611 is in there on paper. It does give her the power to make definitely some better decisions than what we've watched Judge Whitaker do. The problem is I don't think she's going to do them because it's just not practical to do it. Now, I think we probably want her to, especially when we're listening to this ongoing drone of Love and Hilton and their witnesses. We do kind of want them to speed this up and get it moving. But I think ultimately, even though I believe Judge Whitaker would be right in doing that, I don't think she's actually going to probably do that, because at the end of the day, it's not practical to do it. But what do y'all think? I'm going to see what you said. Jill says, look, real simple. That judge ain't ruling or guiding her courtroom. Stand on business and justice. I pity the jury, and they have to be bankrupt by now. I would love to talk about that, Joy Ball. I would love to hear, like, how is this jury sustaining this long? Because it does seem on $25 for $25 a day. That would definitely that would put most of us in pretty bad dire straits for sure. Now, this is something that Joe points out. She's always sides with the state. That defense has gotten to the point of what's the use, maybe. I kind of feel that way. I do feel that way. And actually, when we started this conversation, when Black Law Student and I started the conversation, we were kind of wondering if maybe that's why the defense has got quiet, if you will. They're not really as back and forth, objecting, commenting, and such like that. And maybe it's because they realize they're not getting anything. They're throwing the flags and they're not going in their favor. They're calling for a review and it's not going in their favor. And maybe that's it, because they realize, like, the judge is not giving us anything that we are asking for, especially when it should be in our favor and we should have it. It's not going in their direction. So maybe that's it. Innocent until proven guilty. If you've never been arrested and gone to court, you've made me feel guilty. Innocent doesn't apply. I agree 100%. I kind of wonder, like, isn't it weird that all of the state's witnesses have to be um, wrestled in? All of the star witnesses have to be wrestled into court. Um, Woody, Sledge, now Little D. We'll talk about him in a moment. Nobody's willingly wanting to participate in this trial, court, witch hunt, whatever you want to call it. Nobody's willingly wanting to do that. And I think that's interesting. Um, can we get a few more likes? Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much. Retire. Thank you so much. No, we're gonna talk about Laura. Thank you so much. We are going to talk about Love locking up Quindarius Zachary very shortly. I'm actually waiting for my guest who wanted to talk about that specifically, and apparently he's got caught up in a conversation. So we'll just wait for him to get back to that. Okay, so Tasha says, I think number 3 needs to be enforced a bit more. I think number 2, personally, I think the wasting of time should be very, that one right there. I can give you the other ones as well, but I think this one is probably, in my opinion, the most egregious, that they waste a lot of time. Because think about it, a lot of study hall court is because of the state, not because of the prosecution. I'm sorry, the defense, but because of the state. So the reason that, matter of fact, part of the reason why they didn't have Judge Whitaker told them to go work on projects on Friday was because the state had not turned in and went through all of these calls. And Judge Whitaker said, well, y'all can work on it together. And Mr. Shard said, no, we shouldn't have to do that. That's not our responsibility to do that. That's on them. She literally wanted the defense to do the prosecution, to do their homework for them. That's crazy. So I think wasting time is probably, in my opinion, one of the most egregious issues that is going on in 1 Charlie, that courtroom. But what do you think? Let's see what Matthew says. Cruise control has saved me innumerable times, but I've officially reached the age where the speed limit is no longer an obstacle. I'm telling you, like, I don't think about how fast I'm driving. That's not a good thing, but I just don't think about it. I don't think about it as often as I probably should. I try to when I'm when the girls are driving with me or riding with me. I do try to be a little bit more circumspect, but it's not my. I'm not the best at it. Let's just. I'm being honest. My name's Jason. I need to work on it. I won't speed to church tomorrow. I promise you. All right. And I think Matthew's correct here. He says the jury is completely confused with this circus they've been presented. Have to play dunk bingo to fill out the juror form. I mean, really, like, it's crazy. You said dunk or drunk? Drunk bingo. Sorry about that. Um, yeah, it's just a lot, and I have no idea how. Can you imagine the amount of instructions that they're going to get when this is all over with? Whenever it's over, and then it's presented to them to go back and deliberate, the amount of instructions is going to be insane. That alone is going to take a day and a half. Mind you, the closing arguments is probably going to be easily 2 days, uh, definitely more than a day, because the opening arguments were like 90 minutes apiece. So that's Love had 90 minutes, Brian Steele had 90 minutes. Some of them were almost 2 hours long in their opening statements. So I can only imagine how they're going to keep their all of this information locked in their heads, even on notepads and all that kind of stuff. I don't have no idea how they're going to be able to pull all of that off without there being some serious, serious problems. All right, let's keep this going. Yeah. Do you have any more evidence? Yeah, that was a great point. Whitaker to Love. Do you have any more evidence? She's all bark and no bite. Absolutely. Man, if I could interview a juror, let me tell you how excited that would be, a great conversation. I would love to hear, but I can see there being a lot. I mean, I want to make sure that they were well out of the um out of the grasp of Fulton County after this is all said and done. Can you use the judge for not can you are you saying I think you might say sue. Can you sue the judge for not getting the trial going or over with? Well, they asked for a speedy trial, Craig Benjamin. Good question. They did ask for a speedy trial. And I think part of that is um if you've been watching the trial, you realize there's a lot that is undone. There's a lot of unbakedness, as I said earlier this morning on my live stream this morning. There's a lot that's unbaked about this cake. And I think what the problem is that the state thought that they could just put it out there, that the defendants would immediately clamor for some kind of plea agreement, and they would not have to actually try this case. That's what I think happened. I don't think the DA's office ever expected this to go to an actual trial. They just thought, oh, if we throw RICO on 10 people, 9 people are going to plead out, one person's going to sit for trial. But they did that, and 7 people are still sitting there saying, no, we're not going to do this, or 6 people technically. And I think that threw them off significantly, because I don't think they ever intended for this to actually be tried. And I say that because if you go back and watch some of the shenanigans that have happened in here, are clearly because they're not prepared. Well, when Brian Steele put in the request for a speedy trial in the beginning, that moved everything faster. So instead of them just saying, we're indicting you and we'll get at it in a moment, no, Brian Steele said, you indicted us, let's get at it, let's go. And that moved the trial way faster than they ever intended it to go. And they didn't expect it to get this far. So I think that's what happened. So now back to the point that you're saying, I think it's not just that the judge is not moving it along. I think the state doesn't really have a case. They're literally trying to concoct it and bake the cake while the bride and groom are already in the banquet hall ready for their reception. Like but they're still baking the cake. They're still mixing the cake, for crying out loud. And truth be told, they're actually getting ingredients. So they're still doing a whole lot of scrambling and scraping. And people are like, well, where's the cake? Where's the cake? We're waiting for the cake. And then they're not getting it. So I'm thinking it's probably gonna get more foolish than not. But let's keep it going. I hate that Love goes on with word salad forever. Get to the point and move on. Because a lot of the time she's concocting it in her mind. I mean, she's putting it together in real time. I think this particular rule needs to be followed, says Malika, because it coincides with the Constitution. I agree. I think it should be followed, if nothing more, than the judge needs to hold their feet to the fire and say, hey, if you don't have this evidence, then you can't bring in these people, and so on and so forth. I think that would change the whole game, in my opinion. She won't even hold them to the rules she says she's going to hold them to. Yeah, absolutely. The no eating in court, the no extended breaks, all that kind of stuff like that. Yeah. She just let Love do whatever she wants, or whatever. Say whatever you mean whatever you say, Paige. I agree. The jurors have, this is what We Watch YouTube says, have something to be upset over for sure. But what about the employers? You would have to pay for work you're not receiving with no compensation at all. Yeah, I don't know how that works. I really don't. I'm not certain. Are they getting paid? Are they getting um what's happening? I have no idea. So that's an excellent point. Fantastic. We watch YouTube. I appreciate that for sure. But yeah, I don't know how that works out because yeah, like I thought they just held your job, but if they have to pay you for your job, why are they paying you for work that you're not doing? That doesn't doesn't make sense. So I don't know how that all plays out. So if you do know, um, and I know some people have been called for jury duty here in the live chat, not in the live chat, but if you've been called for jury duty, and it's been an extended period of time, 2 months, 3 months, does your employer just pay you? Do they put you on family leave? You take sick time? Maybe that's it. Maybe they're taking sick time. I don't know how much. I don't know who has a year worth of sick time though, but maybe that's what they do. I don't know. I would love to know, how do they deal with this um extended departure? And then let's also talk about, hey, what do they do about like promotions? What do these people do to get promoted? What do they do to get um move on to the next activity or the next whatever, because they're not actually working. So how are they supposed to get recognized to be able to move on to another position or role if in fact they're not actually working? This seems weird, and I don't know how they're going to play all that out. So that's something good. Thank y'all so much for that. All right, let's see. Where I live at, you don't get paid until the case is done. Oh, now that would be crazy. Yeah, and most people are agreeing that love is actually running the courtroom, and I think most people agree, like, that's not the way it's supposed to be run. That's not what's supposed to be happening at all. But it does look like, Adrian Love is running it, and it's, it's unfortunate because I feel like at the end of the day, the people that suffer are the jurors because they're being waylaid with all of this information, and there's no way for them to sort through it. There's no way for them to vet it. There's no way for them to make heads or tails of it. It's just a ton of information. And somebody would say, like, drinking water from a fire hose. Like, this is so much information being spewed out at them. How are they supposed to keep up with that in a way that's reasonable, in a reasonable way? All right, let's go ahead and get this. Let's start talking about Mr. Quindarius Zachary. All right. All right, so we're going to pull in Thugger Daily because my co-host has not shown up. But shout out to him. Shout out to him. We're going to pull in Thugger Daily. We're going to look at, what did Mr. Thugger Daily say recently. Let's drop this off. Because this is now I know a lot of you all wanted to talk about this. So let's go ahead and get Mr. Zachary out of the way. I know lots of people had questions about Quindarius Zachary. I do want to still talk about Brian Steele and the contempt, as well as how the RICO is stacked in a way that I think they have a Hail Mary. I think the state still has a as much as most of us think that this is losing this case, and I think that's reasonable. I still think they might have a Hail Mary. They might have a trick up their sleeve, so to speak. All right, let's look what Thug is saying. Thugger Daily is saying about Quindarius Zachary. Also posted a message in support of Quindarius Zachary, the state's witness, who the state just locked up outside of a hospital directly after undergoing treatment for a blood disease. Presumably, they locked him up to make sure he shows up to court to testify this week. And if you notice this tweet right here, it's from somebody we're familiar with. That's right, Woody. Woody is saying, "Look, man, I'm praying for you, little D, little bruh." And man, that is, oh my gosh, if they did that, man, that is so grimy. I'm sorry. I just can't. If they lock that man up so that he testifies this week, that is so wild. But let's keep going. What did Woody say? I'm praying for you, little brother. And we call this our justice system. God has all the power. I'm with you. Okay. All right, Woody. I see you. All right. Let's keep this going. Here's a material witness. This is what's called a material witness warrant. So we're going to move me out of the way. All right. A material witness warrant is a legal tool that allows law enforcement to arrest and detain a person who has information that could be important to a criminal investigation. Wow. So I guess you can't just say, I don't want to come. Wow. A judge can issue a material witness warrant if they believe that the witness has information that is important to the case. The witness is unlikely to appear in court voluntarily. The witness has fled. The witness is refusing to testify. Wow. Okay. So, and hopefully we'll get a legal mind because I have a question then. And I'm sure you all have asked this question, or we've definitely have asked this question in the past. Well, what if I don't have a criminal background and I see a crime take place? And the police say, Jason, you saw this crime. We would like you to come and testify about what you saw. And I said, hey, yo, no, sir. Nope. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to participate in that. What happens? Like, I don't need immunity. I don't have to plead the fifth. I just don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to get caught up in it. I look at it. I'm saying, yo, this thing is a dumpster fire. All I was doing was walking by Club Crucial. And I saw some people shooting and such like that outside Club Crucial, and they want me to come testify. I don't want to participate in that because I don't want to be in here like y'all had this guy up here for 2 weeks. I don't want to do that, and so I don't want to do that. Would they arrest me for that? That is craziness. I don't know. Looking at this right here. Shout out to Thugger Daily again for this. I would be a material witness. Maybe I saw who it was that was shooting at Lil Wayne's tour bus, or I saw who it was that shot at Rich Homie Quan's dad's barbershop. Like I saw them. I was there, down the street, around the corner, whatever. And like, could they fill out a warrant and arrest me for that? And I now become a criminal because I refuse to participate because I don't want to get drug into this. I don't want them doxing my family. I don't want them putting my phone number out there because they'd have put me in jail and I call somebody, be like, yo, call my mom, man, call my wife. And I get the phone number and they got my wife's number. That would be crazy. Yo, shout out to Thugger Daily. Man, this is so disappointing. And again, I keep saying, like, this is Fulton County. I live in Atlanta, and this is not a good look for Atlanta. But let's keep going. All right, so this is Mr. Quindarius Zachary. I wish this was a bigger picture of him. Oh, they got a GoFundMe for my man. All right. Support Quindarius Zachary's fight for fair treatment. And Taylor Umbridge, I think that's his sister. Taylor Umbridge, that's his sister, right? Let me move myself out of the way. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think this is okay. Let me so this is his GoFundMe. And okay. They're trying to raise a little bit of bread. I ain't mad at him. All right, real quick. Quindarius Zachary was in prison just minutes after being released from the hospital, despite suffering from sickle cell anemia and recently undergoing 2 blood transfusions. The Fulton County District Attorney's Office and police have acted corruptly, falsely claiming to know his whereabouts in order to secure a warrant for his arrest. Currently, Quindarius is held in a regular cell on Rice Street. Y'all already know about Rice Street. Man, that is not a blessing. And his request to be transferred to a medical unit has been denied. If you feel moved to help him and his family obtain legal representation and seek justice, please consider making a donation. Wow. Man, that is messed up. Man, that's messed up, man. So he needs he's not just going in there to just talk. Like he would need to have a attorney, kind of like Sledge had, kind of like Woody had. Yo, that is out of control. That is so disappointing. Wow. Yeah, definitely praying for my guy. Shout out to Thugger Day for again keeping us posted on this. If you're not familiar with Thugger Day, let me go ahead and drop that link in the chat as well if the moderators had not already done it. Thugger Daily is definitely keeping all of us up to date on what's going on with this case. And if nothing else, it just gives us a better perception. Because again, as I've said before, maybe these guys are really guilty. I don't know. And the problem is you don't know either because Fulton County DA has done such a terrible job of prosecuting this case. So we really don't know. I've said it before. I've said it in jest. I'm like, Fulton County hasn't even proven to me that Young Thug is a black man. Like they haven't even proven, and a lot of people ask, like, where's the RICO? We're looking for the RICO. I don't even think we even need to get to the RICO part. They haven't even proven. I mean, some of the basic elements of this case are still just as nebulous as they were on day one. And we're on day 129, 130. So going back to Judge Whitaker's responsibilities, she's responsible for this. She could put the kibosh on this and say, y'all are wasting time. You're wasting time. What did this say, by the way? Oh, wow. Woody done wrote a whole bona fide prayer up in here. Okay, Woody, I ain't mad at you. Woody done wrote an entire prayer in the Twitter. Okay, go, brother. Do that thing, man. Do it. Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to look real quick. And I thought this was interesting too. Again, this is an instance where the state had to get a material warrant. Super short, super short. Let's bring it in very quickly. And in fact, you told us. I hate that their audio is such a train wreck. All right. Let me back this up a little taste. Let's get rid of me out of the way. All right, let's go.
Yes.
Let me just answer the questions, okay? Mr. Hamilton had harassed you, is that correct?
Yes.
In fact, you told us when you were back there that you didn't want to come out and see him because he had sexually harassed you, true?
Yes.
You felt like, and you told us, that you were really concerned about coming out here.
I'm going to object as to relevance.
I'm a whole objection.
You told us that the times when he would contact you, it seemed like he was trying to date you.
Yes.
In your interaction with, and Mr. Hamilton, you actually met with him at different locations. Is that right?
Yes, I met him at a restaurant.
Japanese restaurant off of Moreland Avenue
Yes.
a couple months ago?
Maybe, I think February.
Okay. He wanted to meet you, supposedly to talk about the case.
Yes.
But he wanted to meet you by yourself.
Yes.
You did not feel comfortable with the interactions you've been having with the district attorney's office, and so you brought your 20-year-old son along with you.
Yeah.
Now, if you remember, this is the situation where one of the investigators was, literally trying to trying to date, trying to start a relationship with a witness while they were investigating the case. And they used a material warrant to bring her in to testify. That's crazy. This case has so many twists and turns that you almost forget things that have happened from, again, if we just started listing some of the crazy things that have happened in this case, it would be amazing in the chat. Just some of the things that pop up. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh yeah, that's right. Of course we all remember Mr. Bean when he came in and said he was so high he was going to fall asleep on everybody. I mean, that's where I came on board. Like, what in the world is going on with this case? But there were so many things before even that. So many things before that, from attorneys getting locked up and getting shouted down and made to buy lunch and write papers, and witnesses flip out and defendants flipping out. There's been so many things crazy with this case, and it only gets crazier with now them finding this man at the hospital, for crying out loud, and arresting him so that he and keep him in that right street rather than putting an ankle monitor on him. I mean, he's not a prisoner. He wasn't. That's the thing that just boggles my mind. You're a free person. They want you to come and testify, so they put you in jail. Again, and Rice Street is not a good place. You're much more prone to anything else happening to you at Rice Street than out on the street. That's craziness. But they're okay with that. And that is just, it's embarrassing because this is Fulton County and they don't seem to have any problem with it at all. None whatsoever. What do we have? Hey, by the way, thank you so much, Kat. Not Williams is in the building. What volume will Love choose for her closing argument? Oh, Bullhorn. She's probably not gonna yell. She's probably not gonna yell, but she's gonna definitely she's gonna pick a loud volume for sure. By the way, Kat Now Williams is a fantastic content creator. I've done some projects with her and I definitely follow what she's doing. If you're not already following Kat, check her out. If you don't mind, moderators, to drop her link in the chat, or her channel's link in the chat. I would love for people to be able to check out what she's doing over there, because she's doing some excellent work. Definitely somebody worth following. Yeah, like, and again, like, let's just say you're new at your job and you're trying to, you're coming out of the COVID, you're trying to get in there, trying to, grind it out so you can move on up. You want to become a supervisor, want to become a manager, want to become whatever. And now you're over here trapped in this case, held hostage. Let's just tell the truth, shame the devil. How are you going to get a promotion? How are you going to move up? You come back to work and Greg or Pam that you don't like, that you know they don't work hard, they done already moved up 2 levels because you've been held hostage for almost a year. I mean, this. Okay, so Kenneth says, thank you, Kenneth Wood, by the way. He says, I work a union job and you get paid jury duty. Okay, I have zero problem with that. The only thing I'm asking is, what about other non-union jobs? Like, for example, what if somebody in there is a teacher? Do they get paid? Or do they have to use their TRS? Do they have to use their sick time? Like, what happens? Not everybody, I just want to know, like, I don't want to know everybody's ins and outs, but I would love to know, what is the system in play for that? Because it just seems like a horrible experience where you should be like, man, I'm getting to do my civic duty. Okay, good. I'm a part of the judicial system. I'm trying to help, keep the country safe, keep my county safe, whatever like that. Wait, how long? Wait, you need me being here for a year? Oh, wait, yeah, I'm waving the wife. Oh, I can't get out. Oh, what if I get a job in Oklahoma? Oh, y'all said I can't even leave to go to my job in Oklahoma? I can't take the job in another country, in another state. Wow. Like, well, what about, like, that's craziness, man. That's got to be some form of imprisonment and unrightful imprisonment. But you know what is not unrightful? That Emmanuel has become a new member. Thank you so much, Emmanuel McCrae. Thank you so much. And I appreciate again the very kind $10 super chat. And I want to say thank you so much to D's Life's Jenny D. Thank you so much. Pure love of the game to you. Thank you so very much for the 199 super. She says, thank you. Pure love of the game to you. Thank you so much. I like that. Just for the love of the game. Appreciate you, friend. Thank you so much for that. All right, let's keep this going. I love some of these great comments. See, I heard this. Thank you so much, Jay Moscow. What were the times? Somebody mentioned this to me, because I didn't know much about the Johnny Depp trial and whatnot. So can y'all tell me, like, what were the time limits like? Because Jay Moscow says the Depp Heard trial had time limits. Like, what were the time limits? Like you only got like 3 hours with the witness or something. That would be great. Like a 3-hour shot clock, 180 minutes. Go. That's all you got. That's it. I would love for that. 3 hours and it's over. And when the timer goes off, like a big buzzer goes off, siren. Yeah, but what was it? What were the time limits? If anybody cares to comment, let me know. Yeah, what if you got your own business? Yes. I don't know, but I feel sad for them. Like I have a small business. Like what? Like yeah, like there's no way that would just be horrible. All right, let's see. I definitely want to know that if anybody knows in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, if they had time limits, what were their time limits? Because I've heard it, but nobody, when somebody said it, they just said it like in passing. I feel like the state is blackmailing judge or paying her off as much as she's participating in the state's case. And we were going to talk about this, and I don't know if Black law student is going to make it or not. Um, I don't think, and again, I could be 100% wrong. I think Judge Whitaker just wants this case to be delivered to the jury by hook or by crook, high water, whatever. She wants this thing delivered to the jury. That's what I think is the problem. And you and I are like, this is not worth it. It's not worth it to drag these men. If nothing else, then at least give them bond. At least give them bond. At the current moment, Jeffrey Williams, young thug, has no indictment that says he has injured, harmed, or maimed anybody. He's not indicted for any of those crimes. Why can he not get bond? I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering, like, why can he not get bond? And please understand, bond is not only, but bond is a guarantee that the person is going to return to trial. Do you think Jeffrey Williams is going to be able to get away and just kind of blend in with everybody else? Is he going to be able to do that? No, he's not. So why not just give him bond, a reasonable bond, and let him go? And then y'all take as long as you want to. At least he's not in jail. Now, I'm not saying everybody, because there's some scallywags in this group over here. And not everybody needs to get bond. But again, if you're not, I mean, Jeffrey Williams is listed for 2 crimes. Let me pull that up real quick, because this will get into my second point. My second point. Where is it? Just had it yesterday. Y'all know I saw it yesterday. Okay. And this will be my second point. And then we'll talk about, and this will lead me into why I think Little Rod is a part of this trial. Because he shouldn't be, but we'll talk about it in a second. No, well, Jason, that's got to be bigger. Jason, come on, make that make sense, my guy. Make that make sense. Okay. Okay. Not bad. Okay. The first count. First count. Conspiracy to violate the Racketeering and Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act. Okay. And that's everybody's included in that. So we got Mr. Huey, Kendrick, Nichols, Mr. Ryan, that's Little Rod, and that's going to be important in a second. Shannon Stillwell, and of course, Jeffrey Williams. So now, if you look up here, Little Rod has only one charge that is active against him. He only has one charge that's active against him. What is that one charge that's active against him, Jason? And let me drop this link in the chat as well. Shout out again to Thugger Daily, and has put together a Google Drive for this. And I'm going to put this down here for you. All right. The charge is, I'm sorry. Well, one charge is, he only has one charge that's active, please forgive me, and that is this racketeering and influence. But the other charge that's dropped against him, that has got him in this mix is this one right here, number 55. Prosecutors have dropped this charge on one defendant who is currently serving life sentence on murder. One defendant accepted a plea agreement. The person that is being in life sentence for murder is Little Rod. And what is it? It's conspiracy to commit a crime. Well, they threw that out. They dropped the charges on him because he's already guilty of murder, right? So by having Little Rod included in this number with all of these gentlemen right here, there's 6 people in total, and having Little Rod included in this, there's muddying the water that everybody is guilty. And also, when you stack in the fact that according to Adrian Love, all you have to do is find one of these people guilty of this racketeering, and everybody's guilty of racketeering. You already got Little Rod here who is serving life sentence in for murder. So you're almost guaranteeing that somebody's gonna look at Rod and say, oh yeah, he's guilty of this because he's already guilty of murder. Well, if that's the case, then everybody's gonna be guilty of this crime. And so I think the reason why Little Rod is in this mix, is in named in the number, is because he's going to muddy the water and allow people to look at him. If you think about it, he's a student on the group project that has an F plus average. Well, if you have a student in your group with an F plus average and you have let's just say you got a B plus average, what's that going to do to your average? Is it going to make your average go up to an A? Absolutely not. It's going to drag your average down. Now, yours might very well bring him up from an F plus to maybe a D minus, but at the end of the day, he's not going to benefit it because he's already been found guilty of murder. Now, granted, he is on appeal, and something could change with that as well. But at the current moment, right now, Little Rod is guilty of murder. He's found guilty rather of murder. And I think he's here to drag the average down of everybody else. But something else I want you to look at, just one more thing. Notice here, Jeffrey Williams, he has 2 charges against him. One of those charges is of course, racketeering right there. The attempt to conspiracy to violate racketeering. Well, Jason, what's the other charge that Jeffrey has? Surely it must be something terrible. It must be one of these horrible things like, armed robbery and deletion and possession of a gun while doing a deletion and all that stuff. Well, let's see where Jeffrey is. We're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. Charge number 56. Why don't we get you out of the way, Jason? That would make sense. Charge number 56, Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug Slime, participation in criminal street gang activity. That's it. Those are the only 2 charges that Jeffrey is being charged with. What I'm not saying is that Jeffrey is an innocent person. What I am saying is, you mean to tell me that this man cannot get bond? You don't have him for doing anything else. You have no information on him. Possession of a firearm, possession of controlled substance, possession of a weapon by an incarcerated individual, attempted deletion. You don't have Jeffrey assigned to any of these things. Now Mr. Huey is a scoundrel, and we need to pray for Mr. Huey. No question about it. This is unacceptable, Mr. Huey. I'm sorry. This is wild. But you don't have Jeffrey assigned to any of these. He's not being charged with any of these. He's charged with the general racketeering charge right here, number 1, and number 56. Why are they not giving this man bond? At least give him bond. I'm not saying, and again, they could put some kind of stipulations on it. Ankle monitor. He's got to, be in the house before the streetlights come on. He's got to come out and cut Dear Woe Christian's front yard of Whitaker Park, help a brother out, that kind of stuff. Drop some bars for my YouTube channel, give me some tracks, something like that. But why not? Like, why is he not given bond, at least bond. I'm not trying to say, again, not saying you give him free reign. You can't go travel, across state lines. You got to stay within so many miles of your home. Okay, fine. But why not? It makes no sense. Now there are again, I think there's some scoundrels in here. Some people that have done some bad things. Like for example, Diamante Kendrick. He has 2 charges too, Jason. But well, the first one that he's charged with is a deletion. So I think, yeah, if you kept him in jail, that makes sense. I think we can all agree, like, hey, deletion's a bad thing. Like, that's not a good thing. So yeah, that one's we're gonna let you need to stay. You're not gonna get any kind of probation or any kind of bond or anything like that. But the other one for him is actually just the RICO charge. So now again, the second one is bad. So I'm not giving him a pass at all. All I want you to see is it's like, why are these men not given another opportunity or given a different look, if you will? Why not? Why not? Okay. Thank y'all so much for that. Now, okay, so all right, so I had 2 questions out there about jurors as well as jurors getting paid, as well as what were the time limits for the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. So Ian says right here that by law, employer pays the juror's salary, they get a paycheck. Okay. All right. Hey, I I mean, I'm glad that they're not. If that be the case, that is amazing. That's great. I got to know that. I hear you. I just and kind of like what we said about the rule 66111 that Judge Whitaker, I don't feel like Judge Whitaker follows completely. Like, okay, on paper it says that thou shalt pay their salary. What does that look like in practical application? Um, what if I was a big overtime worker? I work hourly. What about hourly people? That kind of stuff. Do I not get my annual, my 6-month review because I've been on this trial for a year? There's just a lot of questions I have. I'm not trying to be Ian, I appreciate you. I don't want to sound like I'm just being cantankerous, but to me, I feel like there needs to be, the state needs to do more to make sure that, because who's going to want to be on a trial, the next large trial? Who's going to want to do that if they know all I'm going to get is basically my base salary, not my promotion? I'm not going to get an increase. I'm not going to be able to get on new projects. I'm not going to get new opportunities to move up the food chain. I'm not going to get overtime. How does that work? Because I'm telling you right now, most people will be like, yeah, I watch this trial every night. I listen to Young Thug all the time. I got slime tattooed on my neck. Yeah, when do I get kicked off the jury? Like, that's what's going to end up happening. It's going to be almost impossible to find jurors if that be the case. Yo, this is such a horrible. I hope and pray that the young man, if he has sickle cell, I've taught students who had sickle cell. It's not a good look. I mean, it's not something. I hope nothing happens to that young man. Though I think the state is grimy and they're bad and they're wrong. I pray nothing happens to him and that he's able to come in there and testify on Monday or whenever and go on about his life uh and just keep on living. But if something happens to him, I don't know what Georgia would do, but it unequivocally would show just the horribleness of Fulton County and our judicial system here in Georgia, because that would be terrible. The only reason the man was in jail, only reason he was there at Rice Street is because they did that to him. Okay. So Rhonda says she believes it's only in companies that have over 100 employees. Yikes. Yeah, that would be a mess. I don't know how it works. The state is criminals too. Absolutely. There goes Nurse Janice in the building. Good to see you, love. Good to see you. I don't know. What if he pleads the fifth? Because he's not a criminal. He's not a criminal. What if he just says, I plead the fifth? I don't want to be here. I don't know. And I hope he gets good legal counsel. I hope somebody does it pro bono and it's a good lawyer that does it, that just comes and helps him out. Uh, and I don't know, man. I that's such a it's sad because I'm thinking like at any moment this could be anybody that we know could be in this caught up in this. And the only reason we know about this is because it was Young Thug. Let's not let that forget. Because if we pull up this list right here, wherever it is, Jason, whatever you did with the list, because you closed it out, man. This is a rookie over here, man. Email management. Okay, let me stop. But you know what? Let me do this because somebody asked about a petition. I don't have a petition, but I am going to drop this link if you want to help Mr. Zachary's GoFundMe. I just dropped the link in there. Um, the only person that everybody knew on that list was Young Thug. And the only reason that any of this is a thing is because it was Young Thug. If it was Jason Whitaker, y'all wouldn't have been, nobody be talking about that. They'd be like, Jason, who? They'd be like, Jason, who? Who is that? Class of what? Morehouse class of who? No, we don't know him. Yeah. So I think the only reason we know this case is because it was Young Thug. And so that's something else we got to keep in mind. Like, if this was not Young Thug, and how about this one? How many times has this happened before Young Thug? Right? They didn't just threw Rico on a bunch of people. And again, I'm not saying that they were innocent. I'm not saying that they were choir boys, but as Ray said right here, even if guilty, it's innocent until proven guilty. Eh, Yeah. Yo, like this is the part that's super frustrating. And it's sad because I'm like, these men are being held and not given afforded the same things that we were given. I mean, for crying out loud, Trump got bond. And I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form that I think that that case is akin to what's going on with Young Thug, but Trump got bond. Why can't Young Thug get bond? I'm just wondering, especially since it's 9 years later. Kenneth, I mean, it's 9 years ago. Come on, that's crazy. See, the only problem, Kathy, and this is the thing. Sadly, the gentlemen that are being the defendants are, if we snap our fingers right now and tomorrow the jury gets this trial and is given over to the jury to decide, and let's say they come back and they say they're as guilty as today is Monday, and immediately they start filing appeals. You know where the defendants are going to be sitting while they file for appeal? Yep, they're going to be right there in jail. They're going to stay in jail, and that's crazy part. I, I don't understand that part. That's the part that's super sad. So I want, again, I don't want to go to mistrial. I want it to be a clean finish to this case. But at the end of the day, they're in the catbird seat. They get to rule the roost. The state is clearly determining the speed of this trial. So if they wanted to slow drag like they were doing with Glanville, I do think Judge Whitaker is going to snap their fingers a little bit more, but she ain't gonna do much more than that. I don't think she's gonna do any bit more than just maybe a little bit of bark, maybe a little bit of, you know, snark and bless your heart from the bench, but nothing more than that. They switch seats. Oh, this is another thing. This is another reason. Thank you so much. Matt asked, why did they switch seats? Great question. They switched seats because of Little Rod. Little Rod somehow or another was found with contraband. And I wasn't clear if it was contraband in court or at Rice Street or in jail. Well, one of the problems is Little Rod doesn't have anything to lose. He has nothing else to lose. He's in jail for the rest of his life. So he doesn't have, he's very much akin to if you had a sibling who stayed in trouble. And, shout out to my brother James, because clearly he was the one that stayed in trouble, not me. But you have a sibling that's always in trouble. Well, let's say that they lose their privilege of getting a dessert after dinner. Okay, usually your mom makes this really great apple pie, and every night after dinner, you get a nice big slice of apple pie, put a big old huge scoop of ice cream on top of it, maybe put some whipped cream on it, whatever it is, whatever the decadence is that really makes you feel this analogy. But your sibling never gets it because they're always in trouble. They don't have any benefit. If they know they're never going to get the cake, they're never going to get the ice cream, they're never going to get the treat after dinner, they don't have any incentive to eat dinner. They don't have any incentive. Like you're like, shoot, I'm about to eat this thing. I'm about to eat this. I'm ready because I want to get this wonderful treat after I finish eating. My little snack for having a great week at school or whatever of that nature. There's no incentive for them. So they just always cutting up. They're always doing wrong. And it's starting to affect you. So now mom is mad. And so mom just decides she's not going to bake a cake. She's not going to bake the pie. She forgets to go get the ice cream because your brother or your sister is always getting on her nerve anyway. She's like, you know what? I'm not going to get that ice cream. I'm not going to do that. And so now you are suffering because of your sibling, not anything that you've done. You've been dotting your I's and crossing your T's and doing everything right as best you can. But now you're being penalized because of that. So back to the point, back to little Rod being in this indictment with the um with the other gentleman. Little Rod has zero incentive to not get in trouble. Again, starting fights or getting into fights at the commissary in the jail. What's that? What's that got to do with anything? Picking fights, starting fights, being a part of fights. Who cares? He doesn't care. He doesn't have any incentive because he's not going to be leaving jail. Whereas the rest of these gentlemen, well, not the rest of them, some of these gentlemen have the opportunity to possibly leave or one day, get a lighter sentence or whatever of that nature. Little Rod doesn't have that. So I think so to answer your question, Little Rod was caught with some contraband. I'm assuming it was at Rice Street, and I'm sure somebody's probably already commented in the chat, and I'll find it and I'll correct whatever I'm saying. I believe it's at Rice Street, and so therefore they want to keep a better eye on him. Therefore, they moved him where he was sitting in the courtroom because he was just kind of you saw him back there in the back, in the corner, not in the back. He was in that second row. You're not really, you know, kind of out of sight, out of mind. So they want him to be more insight in mind. So that's why they moved him. But I'm saying that him being there is problematic for everybody else because he really doesn't have anything to lose. He has nothing to gain. I mean, he has everything to gain by being there. By being there, I mean he's going to be able to. He's out of jail. He's in the limelight. He's doing something rather than sitting in jail every day. So he actually is so he has no incentive to do the right thing. So that is Mr. Ryan, and that's why they switch seats. Hopefully that made sense. Felicia says, Felicia said they are putting them locked up to scare them, turn around and say the witnesses are scared to testify. This is why we locked them up. I, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You really can't. It is really sad that that is exactly what's happened. Absolutely. Okay, Woody. You know what? Let me hold on. Okay, because real quick, Woody posted a prayer for this guy, and you know what? Let's see what he said because some of y'all are saying that it's serious. Okay, let me see what he said. Hold on, because hey, I'm down with that. I'm down with we have got to get dear old Christian to get better at his. I close out these windows and then where did it go? I close out the window and then y'all want me to pull it back up. Oh, and we'll also pull up I think I have the warrant as well for Mr. Quindarius, Zachary as well. Where's the prayer? They said Woody must have here we go. My goodness. Yeah, I'm gonna get better. I promise. I promise you, I'm gonna get better at this. All right, bang. All right, let's pull this in. What did he say? What did Wood say? Woody said, Father God, we need you now more than ever. I pray that you answer our prayers and free Jeffrey and co defendants. The world has seen the treatment our justice system has done to us, locked us up, forced us to tell untruthful stories. The mistreatment is crazy. Wrong is wrong, and we have sympathy for all the victims and their families. As kids, bad choices are made, and punishment is acceptable. But this is a different story. This is corruption. This is madness, and very personal. God, you know our hearts and our mindset. You know our growth. Please touch the wicked and change their heart and release them 6 men that's fighting for their life every day in the courtroom. They have family and loved one that loves them and need them. This isn't about justice, it's about power. And I pray that those who think they have more power than God realize the pain and the suffering they are causing as well. I ask for forgiveness every day and I refuse to sit by and continue to watch us hurt each other. It has to stop at some point. So, Father, in Jesus' name, we pray that you take over this situation and protect us all from these wannabe gods. Free Jeffrey. Yikes. Um, I, I, wow. Whoever said that, who was that, Matthew? Yo, that was shout out to okay, Woody. All right. Yo, that's wow, that was very impactful. I like that. Not like I'm grading somebody's prayer, but I'm like, yo, that's very on the money. Wow, Woody. Okay. I'm not gonna assume that he didn't write that. I'm not gonna assume that. If he wrote it, it's got his name attached to it. You know what? I don't care who wrote it, truth be told. Um, wow. Okay. Shout out. Shout out to Woody. I'm a little bit taken aback. I'm a little bit taken back. Like, yo, that's actually really good. And to the point. It's not accusatory. He's not using anybody's name, calling them names out of context. Okay. Okay. All right. Shout out. Salute to Woody. Salute. But I've said this before. I really believe that they just need mentoring. I hate to say it. I just think they just don't have good mentorship around them. Oh, this is a good question, by the way. Casper said, if Little Rob was truly caught with contraband, would there be a police record about it somewhere? I'm sure there would be. That would seem like a valid question. Why did I not think of that? Casper, don't be showing me up like that, Casper. I'm over here supposed to be thinking robustly, and you over here showing me up. Uh, that's a great question, though. I don't know. I would assume so. To answer your question, yes, I would think so. I don't know why we haven't seen it, but that's a dope question. See, that's what I'm talking about. But that's why quantum timeline just says mistrial. At this point, I think the thing should be thrown out. But I don't think it ever was baked to start with. As I said before, let's not forget, Paul Howard received this information when he was DA. He didn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. So if Paul Howard didn't think it was a good trial, what did Fonnie Willis add to it that made it a good case? Because apparently, whatever Paul Howard saw, it wasn't a good case. So what did Fonnie Willis see that now instantaneously made a good case? That should be the question that we're asking. Yeah, this is another. I've heard this too, Sassy C. Sassy C said Little Rod's attorney explained all this. She said that the prosecutors were saying they were cleaning up the streets, but they got Little Rod from prison. Little Rod was already in jail. So why is he included with these gentlemen that have not been? I'm sorry, he's already been sentenced. So why is he being included with these other men that have not been sentenced? That should make you that should cause you to be like, wait, something's wrong with that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's some great conversation here, by the way. Thank you so much for the wonderful, wonderful live chat. The question, double question, Angela says, if they are found not guilty on this RICO case, can they be tried as individuals in a new case? That's the part I don't get because some people are saying that, if they're not found guilty, the feds are going to pick them up. If they're, if one person's found guilty, they're all going to be guilty. So there's a lot of that I don't know. And I was hoping that we would have some legal experts come through. But apparently this whatever he's doing at the moment took a lot longer than he anticipated. So that's okay. But so I don't know that one. And I'm gonna I'm gonna give you my answer. I'm if they could, I think they should have already tried these men as individuals. But if you go back to this document, the if you go back to the indictment, really the individual crimes are all being held together by the first crime, which is the RICO. If they did not have the RICO, these will all be individual charges, or there'd be people with individual charges but they're trying to lump them all together and throw this RICO in there because a lot of these charges they're not able to stick as individual charges and indictments. So they need it to be a RICO so they can stick them to them, if that makes sense. The glue that sticks all these men together is the RICO, the first charge. And so I don't know if they are found innocent, let's just say that snap of fingers, and they're found innocent, what happens? Can they come back and say, "All right, we're going to come get Jeffrey for street gang activity"? I don't know if they can do that. I don't know because it's going to be hard to prove it. But who knows? Truthfully, the whole point of this is to bankrupt you, in my opinion. RICO is meant to bankrupt you. Um, I told somebody in the beginning, RICO is Latin for bankrupt the defendant, because that's all it is. I mean, it's going to keep dragging us out until you don't have any more money. I know Roscoe was just arrested under RICO for the same thing, and he has already done time for. Who's Roscoe? Roscoe. I'm sure I know who you're talking about, but yeah, that's crazy. And I don't know how they do that. Okay, so politicking with Mel, I appreciate you. She's not breaking the law. There is a rule that I feel like Judge Whitaker is not abiding by, which is the rule 6111, which allows the judge to really speed a trial up as he or she sees fit. And let me just bring it back in real quick. And um as necessary. And at the current moment, I feel like Judge Whitaker, not even I feel like, it's pretty clear Judge Whitaker is not doing that to move this case forward in a meaningful and timely manner. Let me just bring this in real quick and I'll show you, and then I'm gonna get back to these comments because they've been great. Because I know some people did pop in a little late. And it's not a true, Jason might have been a little hyperbole with the whole where'd it go? Y'all, are y'all praying for me? Where'd my window go? Ay, 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 ay. Un momento. It's right here. Why won't it open up? I tell you, man, I'm never gonna win. I'm just not winning. All right, it's called Rule 6111, and I'm trying to open it up, but it's not opening up so you can see it. Let's try it again. Yeah, it's not opening up so you can see it. Sorry about that. It's opening up so I can see it, but it won't open up for you. That is crazy. Let's try like this. Okay. Always something fun. Always something fun over here. I don't know why it's not opening up. This is ignorant. Sorry about this. At any pace, it's Rule 6111. And basically, this says that the judge has the ability, it is on the judge to move the trial forward in a timely manner. And the overall consensus that we're making is that Judge Whitaker is not managing the trial, but rather she's allowing Adrian Love, she's allowing others to manage it rather than she's managing it. So, real quick, 6111, mode and order of examining witnesses and presenting evidence. Control by the court. So this is on the court. This is Judge Whitaker's responsibility. The court or Judge Whitaker should exercise reasonable control over the mode and order of examining witnesses and presenting evidence so as, and we'll just stop for a second. So if I, as a prosecutor, don't do my homework, the judge is within his or her power to say, well, if you didn't do this project like we said you were going to do, or you don't have this ready, then you can't present that information. You could do that. Now, is that the best way to do it? I don't know. But look what we have right here. Let's keep going. Make those procedures effective for determining the truth. So, of course, we don't want to come up here and do things that are not benefiting or shining a light on the truth. But look at the second one. Avoid wasting time. Can we all admit, can we all agree that the prosecution has a PhD in time wasting? Can we all agree on that one at least? Maybe we don't agree that Jeffrey's guilty or we don't like his lyrics, but I think we can all agree that the state has no incentive to move forward quickly. There's no incentive. There's no shot clock. There's no delay of game violation. They're not moving fast. But let's keep going. Number 3, protect witness from harassment and undue embarrassment. You mean like asking a witness, can they read? You mean like signifying that you said you couldn't read, but you really could? You mean like embarrassing somebody to ask them where they got shot? You mean that kind of stuff like that? That's embarrassment? That's harassment potentially? Okay. That's what I'm talking about. So I think Judge Whitaker could definitely do a better job at this. And so the whole point was to just point out some of these things because I had just found this rule 61, or rather 611. And I feel like definitely unequivocally, Judge Whitaker has not been doing this. And that's, I feel like, not a good look. It's not the best thing for the court because ultimately it does shine a negative light on her, shines a negative light on Fulton County. It makes us look like we don't know what we're doing down here. Hey, the jury might be out on whether or not we really do. But that is it. So that was it. Politicking with Mel. Thank you so much. Let's go real quick because I want to shout out some of these supers that have popped up. I appreciate them so much. Let's see what we got. I want to thank you, Kat, for blessing 5 people with memberships. Thank you so much, Kat. Always coming through doing that. I really do appreciate it. It's always good to have support from other YouTubers and other content creators. And Kat, by and far, is definitely one of my favorites for sure. And Renee Watkins says the same thing, dropping 5 memberships. So hopefully 10 of you all have gone ahead and put thank you to Kat or thank you to Renee, whoever it was that blessed you. If you would, just make sure you say thank you and let them know that you appreciate them because they have now opened up the door to membership to you. And I think that's dope. So shout out to them. And then lastly, Trayelle, always good. They need to track the money funding this case. Now that, again, I don't say it as a hyperbole, but I really believe that RICO cases is a form of money laundering. And they're so much money comes into it. So much money is moved around and we got to get this person hired, or we got to go do this investigation, or we got to hire this person. There's so much money that gets moved around and there's no way that they're keeping track of it. I mean, that's the whole issue with Fonnie Willis right now is that, well, one, Ashley Merchant wants to know where was she spending her money, the Fulton County money. Fonnie Willis is fighting to share that. But then the Georgia Senate is looking at it and says, hey, Fonnie, we want to know a little bit more about how you're determining your special prosecutors and what is your how do you go about the day-to-day operations? And Fonnie Willis is fighting there. So, and that's just one county and one DA. I'm sure there's countless other ones that also are guilty of the same thing. But Fonnie Willis, the spotlight is on her. And it's sad because it's Fulton County's money. It's not Fonnie Willis's money. It's Fulton County's money. And she's treating it like it's her own personal slush fund. So yeah. Amherst says Kenneth Copeland getting a prayer through to God. Hey, shout out to Kenneth. Absolutely. I see some great comments right here. I think it's written extremely well, but let's just be honest. If I agree, I think that could have been written by Kenneth Copeland. I'm not really going to lose a lot of sleep over if it was written by him or not. It sounds like him. So, and there's some grammatical errors in there that would make me think that yeah, it's very possible it was written by him. So either way, I think the sentiment is there that we need divine intervention as it relates to this case. And I think Woody, whether he wrote that exactly or he just somebody sent it to him and he cut and pasted it, that's neither here nor there. Again, I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it. The sentiment is truly there. We can't do anything. Like we need an intervention from an external source because Judge Whitaker is clearly not doing it. Fonnie Willis ain't gonna do it. Adrian Love ain't gonna do it. So we need an outside source to intervene on behalf. Now, again, I just want justice brought. That's all. So let's keep it moving. They've already been charged with these crimes. That is correct. They've been charged with them, but they still haven't been found guilty. I hope I'm making sense. And I might, if I'm wrong, don't let me get too far and be wrong. Yeah, somebody could have wrote it for him. Speaking of records, yeah, love is, yeah. And I hope, if nothing else, I just hope Judge Whitaker stops allowing Adrian Love to get a pass with so much egregious misbehavior. Just stop letting that slide. If you just stop letting that slide, I think, and give bond, one of those two or both would really, really go far to tell people like, yo, this court means business. Like I did the video this morning. I don't think you're serious. I think you say that you're serious, but I don't think you mean like you're serious about this. Because you say one thing, like, of course, no eating, no delay of game. We're going to start on time, XYZ. And now look where we are. They're eating, delay the game, which we cancel whole days of court and nothing is moving forward at a serious clip. I think the only thing that's different is that they're there usually 5 days a week and usually 8 hours. That's the only thing that's I think is drastically different from Glanville. Glanville was canceling court and moving on and cutting court short a lot. Like they went to 6 o'clock one day. I was like, yo, that's crazy. Was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. Like, yo, I gotta go. I miss family dinner at church. Like, man, what's going on? Yeah, see, I think I understand what Zipper Jones is saying. Little Rod can't get any more time. He's got life. So he has no incentive to actually do anything to help Thug or Quay or Mr. Huey, Mr. Stillwell, any of them. He has no incentive. So why is he here? What did Dennis say? Dennis said he's playing safe. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm her is right on the money. She said Paul Howard knew they didn't have enough evidence. Fonnie is on a clout chase. Yeah, shout out to Howard. Yeah, Fonnie was looking for that. Was looking for that fame. Clout is a messed up drug, man. It will mess you up for sure. I don't think Quantum Timeline says Hail Mary mistrial. There's a couple of other nuances to that. So I don't know. Well, first of all, you'd have to get mistrial with prejudice because otherwise, if you just get a mistrial, it just rewinds and they start from zero. New trial, I mean, new jury, and so forth. That would be crazy. And these men would still be in jail. So I don't know if that would be a good look at this point. Because again, if it took them a year to get 16 jurors, how long is it going to take now? It's going to almost be impossible. Monday should be charged too, but we all know that the CO behind that, it's so wrong. Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you, Nuts. It would be double jeopardy. I, it'll be double jeopardy if it's a mistrial. There's a couple of procedures involved in that, so we can't just say mistrial, because if it's mistrial, it could be mistrial with prejudice, mistrial without, mistrial with jeopardy applied or attached or not, and then that would run it back, or it would not. So Rod's case is currently at the moment under appeal, but it's not. So at the current moment, though it's being appealed, he still has been found guilty of murder. So that's still going to sullen the jury pool, or sullen the to have somebody there that was found guilty, even though he's under appeal. So again, what's the purpose of having him in there? I think that's right. I think Charlie's right. I do think that's what she's trying to do. The counts can't be retried if acquitted. Okay, there we go. If they're acquitted, but if they're found, so if they're found innocent, they can't be retried. Perfect. Okay, so thank you so much, Kat. I appreciate that. The state way overreached. They were so far overreaching. It's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, I don't even understand. Again, I think personally, I think Brian Steele messed them up by asking for a speedy trial. I do think that that really threw off the that's why they're so scrambling and scraping, because Brian Steele said, "Hey, well, fine, you indict my client. Let's go ahead and get a speedy trial." And like, wait, what do you mean speedy trial? We thought you was just going to plead out. Well, now look at them; they're stuck. Yeah, it's I don't know how they're, but let's just be honest. I don't know how they got. I don't know how they brought the jury back after Glanville without checking to see if they had been compromised. So crazier things have happened, Jill. Crazier things have happened. What does Maryland say? The Depp count trial court allotted total hours for trial time to both prosecution and defense to parse out at will. Defense won the clock to take heard. Really? Okay, I need to find that, because that sounds like my bright idea. When I said they should have so much time with each witness. I said like 3 hours or 2 hours, whatever. I've said as much as 5, but whatever it takes, whatever's reasonable. Say you got this much time with this witness and that's it. And that's direct and redirect. So if it's 5 hours and you spend 3 hours on direct, then you only have 2 hours on redirect. All right, lots of good conversation. All right, so Sassy C says Shard literally debunks that in his opening statement. Dear Will Christian, him and Little Rod's attorney on what state has to prove for RICO. I actually have that video. No, I have Steele's. I have Steele's and Loves. I don't have Shards. I can find it. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow, because I wouldn't mind looking at it and just hearing it again. Yeah, this is an hour long. Okay. I might do that tomorrow. Yeah, I got the opening statement. I do have it. So let me okay. Tasha says all us pre-K lawyers are here to help. I love it. So my daughters have been gone all day. So if you follow this channel, I'm a new driver. Hey, I'm a new driver. And so President Firstborn is zipping around town. She's been driving all over today. They done went to plays. They were doing a show at her school this morning. They've been all over the place. And they done brought their little round heads home at 11 o'clock at night. That is craziness. I cannot believe we're having this conversation. So they're gonna probably come in here in a second. Okay, so it's Shards and okay, I'm pulling them up right now, Sassy C. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. We'll just do like a little reaction. Because I don't think I remember Shards. I remember watching Shards. I don't think I watched Little Rods. So I'm gonna have to double check before I get too far afield. But I don't think, yeah, I'm gonna pull it up and maybe we'll do it tomorrow. That might be fun. Yeah. Thank you so much, Lamore. Yeah, Fonnie Willis is not sharing their what they're supposed to be doing with Ashley Merchant's law firm. So they're actually suing Fulton County to get this done. And it's craziness. Oh no, there's no problem with that at all. Former classic media reporter. Sorry if my questions are no perfect. No, I need the questions because I don't know all the answers. So if I don't know the answers, I ask the questions. So
I've got a question.
why are you here?
Why'd you call me Miss Seeley?
I didn't call you Miss Seal. What are you talking about?
4 years ago, you called me Miss Seeley when I had my braids in. And now that I know what that means, that's so mean. I would like an apology.
Okay, on behalf of everybody who knows what you're talking about, because I don't know what you're talking about, child.
I just watched The Color Purple.
Why are you talking about something from literally 4 years ago?
Because
this is worse than this court
sense.
case. This is not worse than this court case. You're like holding me in contempt for something that happened 4 years ago, 48 months ago. I don't even remember what I had for dinner yesterday.
Wikipedia.
Wait, 48 days? Wait, how many? How long? Wait. Yeah, 48 months ago. Go away. What do you want?
Hi.
Kiss my cheek.
No.
Okay.
Hi, guys. No, I wasn't giving you a kiss. Now you're embarrassed.
Can you go? You smell like chocolate. What do you do? What did you eat?
I just ate a Tootsie Roll.
I knew it. Go away.
That's why they're all gone. Because I ate them all.
Go away. These people are saying go away. They're saying leave your dad alone.
Literally no one is saying that.
Wait, let me find somebody
Wait.
saying that. Somebody
You have
say
to
go
speak.
away. Leave.
Why?
Why? I don't. Somebody,
Like,
somebody
use
help me
up
out.
in the chat. Oh,
Rescue
geez.
me, people. Oh my
Use
gosh.
the-
Oh, I guess I could have did that too. Thanks.
Yeah.
Look, they're saying, nobody's actually saying it. Somebody say go away. Here, let
Oh
me
my
say
gosh,
it.
she's
Hold on.
adorable.
Go away. There.
Daughter must stay.
There.
Cass
Somebody said it.
Cass
There we go. There we go. Go away. It's on.
cringe. I look just like him. Oh, thanks.
They're trying.
I think
Basically,
I
they're
have
trying to say.
nose.
They're trying to say that I'm pretty handsome. That's what they're trying to say.
True, because I'm gorge.
Go away. Why
Hi,
are you?
Dad.
Why art thou harassing me? What does that say?
Heavy. Heavy on it. Because, oh my gosh, they're so good. I came home and there were 4 Tootsie Rolls on the table. Just
All
be
those ones your
known.
mom had? Okay.
Yeah, and I ate them all.
Wow.
I didn't even
You haven't
ask.
been on house like 10 minutes yet.
Yeah, I was at the house for a total of maybe 2 hours today, and all the Tootsie Rolls were gone.
Goodbye, child.
Oh,
I
thank
love
y'all.
you. Okay, on behalf of everybody, let me just say it again. Go away.
Apologize for calling me Miss Seeley.
I don't remember why I called you Miss Seeley, but
my hair, when I had it like natural and I would twist it to go to sleep, I'd braid it to go to bed.
I don't remember what I ate for dinner last night. How do you expect me to remember this? Goodbye, child. I have no idea what we were talking about. But I do agree. She said Tootsie Rolls are highly overrated. That's my girl. That's my girl. But yeah, so she's been driving. She's been all over town today. I'm like, man, this is craziness. So anybody, if you're a new driver, a parent of a new driver, y'all know what I'm going through, or a parent of a child that's already been established driver. It's been crazy. It's been crazy because she just goes places. We drove. Oh, merciful God.
I just want to say good night to you.
Oh, come on.
No, I
No, come on.
just want to say
Nope,
good night. Stop
We've already stopped. We've already stopped the show. Just come on over.
Good night.
Come give me a kiss. Give me a kiss.
Why are you acting silly?
I'm not acting silly.
Yes, you are. You are here stopping your show.
Appreciate you.
Hi, Home Squad. Tell them to stop acting weird. There's too many people here for you to be acting weird.
Oh, but then there's you.
I just wanted to come say goodnight to you because if I don't, you're going to be like, Taylor doesn't love me. She didn't say goodnight to me last night. I haven't seen her in 1,000 years. And then I'm going to have to put up with that.
I haven't seen you all day. How was your day?
It was fine.
How was the show?
It is all right. What do you mean, tea party or?
I don't know. Y'all been out partying all day like this. Like
it was all fun. It was all fun. I had a great day.
Okay, so the tea party was fun.
Yeah.
And the
Color Purple.
Color Purple was.
I went in completely blind. Did not know a thing that would happen. Why did I do that to myself?
Oh wait, you don't know.
I did.
Yo,
I didn't know nothing about
don't say that out loud. They might take my black card. You're supposed. Wait, black kids are supposed to know about the Color Purple. You don't know about the Color Purple?
No.
Oh my
Now
gosh,
I do.
they're gonna take my black card from me. I can't believe that. Oh well, now you know. So I'll just pretend.
Now I know. I wish I
Wait.
knew before. I'm like, such a Marcus, and my jaw is on the floor.
Really?
I mean, like Miss Smith gave us content warnings because she's like, you guys should come to this, but like, be warned, they have some topics, and then she listed said topics.
Oh, okay.
Didn't know anything else.
Oh, they already revoked my black card.
Black car revoked.
They take my black card.
We don't have a black car. Sorry, we don't have a way to revoke it. Ooh, look, more people joined.
Because they're like they want to harass. They're probably the police are trying to like protect me.
No, bro, they're trying to revoke your black card. The second I got on, your thing skyrocketed. Let's get it to 300 and then I'll leave. Oh no, it's sank now. Sorry, I wasn't in the camera shot for a bit. Let me just wait here.
Why are you here harassing
God,
me?
you're officially white. You've been turned into a Caucasian. How do you feel?
Motion denied. There, I agree.
How do you feel being turned into a Caucasian, Dad?
I don't even know what you're talking about, you crazy child.
How do you feel getting your black card revoked?
So you had a good time.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Are y'all?
I had a bowl of ramen. That was amazing.
You and this ramen. You are a ramen. You are ready for college. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
You are ready because you. Now I don't know. Ramen is a little bit more expensive than ramen when I was in college.
It's still cheap. It's still cheap. Don't you worry.
If that's no ramen when I was in child was not that
was like
less
than
less than $1.
Oh yeah, it's still less than $1 now for the cheap ramen.
Okay. I love you. All right, you good?
Ramen noodle. I can have ramen and I can get ready to go somewhere in like 5 minutes if I've showered the night before. I'm perfectly ready for college.
You're ready. Are y'all riding with me tomorrow?
I don't know. That's Trina. She drives.
Oh, that's right. What am I thinking? I just literally was talking about that.
You forgot to give us money on the Starbucks card.
I put money on the Starbucks card this morning.
No, you didn't. I had to pay for it. It's fine though.
No, y'all just I
you didn't
put
put it on in time for us to order.
Okay, it was on there. I'm sorry. Request denied. Get out of here, you little person. All right. Well, thank you so much for stopping by.
I love you so much.
I love you too.
Look, now you're at 300, and now I can leave. Bye-bye.
That's Chief Executive Second Born. And they're crazy. They're crazy. But y'all, I want to thank y'all so much. Okay, last thing I want to talk about. Okay, why is Brian Steele still fighting the contempt charge from Judge Glanville? All right, I was wondering this, and I was like, okay, it doesn't make sense. Like, Judge Glanville's been removed, and surely he should be able to do away with that. Should just kind of like vanish away into the ether, right? No. Brian Steele was technically arrested when the whole shebang about you got 5 minutes. I don't need 5 minutes. And he arrested him. He was arrested. So therefore he was charged. And so now he's got to fight those charges, even though it was totally right that he did not tell who had given him the information. All that stuff was correct. But because he was arrested, that's why he's still fighting it. Because I saw even recently, is like this week, he's still fighting those charges. But the reason being is because he was actually arrested. So that's what I wanted to point that out, because I know somebody else was probably wondering that as well. So that was that. All right, what do we have here? So we should have did a poll on how much was ramen noodles when you were a child. Because for whatever reason, that girl loves her some ramen noodles. Like, I have no idea why she likes them like that. Matter of fact, she's introduced all of us to them because we had nothing to do with it. We're like, what are you talking about? We don't know nothing about this. She introduced us all to ramen. It's crazy. Appeal purposes for YSL trial and to stand in principle against Glanville. Hands down. Now, he stood on business and no shade at all there. It's just, I was like, why is he still fighting this though? This should have just gone away. Stir fry. Should try stir fry new. Taylor, chief executive second born, she'll try it. She really likes Asian food. I have no idea why. I have no idea. She'll eat sushi. She'll go get ramen. She'll try stir fry. She's very, very into Asian cuisine. I have no idea what she's made her own chili oil. She's made her own chili paste. I don't know where she get it from and why she's like that, but it is what it is. And that's my girl. Yeah, I mean, we had ramen noodles, but it was nothing like what they have now when I was a child. We had nothing like that. It was way, way less entertaining because she'll go get the whole bowl I mean, she means business. All right, let me see. I don't remember Little Debbie's being 25 cents, Tasha. We weren't really big on that. I mean, we did eat them, but I don't think it wasn't like something big like that. So my mom didn't buy them a lot. So I don't remember. I'm sure they probably were like pretty reasonable when I was a child, because stuff is now unreasonable and I'm not a child. So I can totally dig it. She'd be getting she's had the bowl of the cup, the kind that you make at home. It's like that flat block of noodles. But then also she likes going to, there's a little ramen place near a house near her school. She loves that. She'll go there. If she can go there 2-3 times a week, she would be happy as a lark. She's a mess. They done scratched on my desk. Oh, this is a good question. Can we go over if judicial immunity will be forfeited for Glanville? I need to look into that. Andre Cook, I need to look into that. That's a great question. I still think they should bring him in here just for GP. If we're gonna be petty, then let's keep the petty train rolling. I think having Glanville have to sit in the booth and get questioned by Steele is the perfect. I think that's the right thing to do. If Brian Steele has to fight the the charges for contempt, then Judge Glanville should have to sit in the booth and get questioned about whatever. What's your favorite ramen noodles? I don't care. I don't care. I think that's the right thing to do. That would be hilarious, though. Thank you, David Trailer. Thank you. I tried so hard. Thank you so much. Really, my college roommate, his son is a freshman at LSU. Wow, Shelby, my nephew, I call him my nephew, is a freshman at LSU. That is crazy. Okay. Listen, my daughter is a freshman at LSU and she orders Samyang Boldak chicken stir fried ramen, Korean cup. What the world? Ramen on my Amazon pack. 6 for $19.96. What is that? That sounds amazing. But that sounds amazing. I'm gonna ask Jacob. Has he had this? Or maybe, you know what? I'll see if he likes ramen and I'll send him a care package. Matter of fact, his dad is going to be on my show at the end of the month for our 3-year anniversary celebration. And I will ask him, does Jacob know about these here ramen noodles? Oh yeah, the college student budget is a different game. Now, it's definitely different. But so I really thank everybody who's in the chat, who stopped by, who's doled out some memberships or dropped a super chat. I really do appreciate it. I want to say thank you because you all are the backbone and really help this channel grow. So I thank you for stopping by, being a part of the best live chat on the planet. Wait, I'm sorry. I was going to stay focused. They got 7,800 freshmen? Stop it. Yo, that's crazy. That's out of control. That's just wild. Shout out to LSU. Okay. I mean, what Morehouse on a good year would have 600 freshmen. I mean, so that's like 12-fold. That's crazy. Amazing. So I want to say again, thanks so much. It means a lot that y'all tap in and stop by and see what we're doing over here. I'm glad that you find some kind of value in what we're doing. And it really means a lot. So thank you so much. If you don't mind, if you could let me know if you run across an article or you run across something to talk about. I did take notes on some of the stuff that has already popped up in the live chat. If I didn't point it out or I didn't call it out, shoot me an email, dearwokec@gmail.com. If you run across something, you say, hey, Jason, you should look into this, or can we talk about this? I'll drop my email in the chat. That's perfectly fine. Because I really appreciate it. I want to make sure that you, the listening audience, the subscribers, the members, those people that tap into the best live chat on the planet, that you all are finding value in this. So I really want to make sure we're doing that for you all. So if you don't mind, if you run across something or you say, hey, Jason, here's the closing argument, or Jason, here's the time stamps for, the time constraints from the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial or whatever. Here's that immunity agreement because I might need one. Anyway, whatever it is, feel free. No shame. If I can't use it, I'll definitely at least give you a shout out and say, hey, I appreciate it and whatnot like that. These y'all are putting ramen noodle. Is that a ramen noodle recipe? No, it's not. Okay. I just saw ramen in there. I was like, you got it. I thought you were putting a recipe in there. Like, y'all are really wild out. Taylor done impacted y'all. Now y'all are here putting ramen recipes in the chat. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Yo, that is wild. 7,800 people, 7,800 students is wild. Being the fact that Morehouse on a good year has like 3,000. But to know that you got 7,800 freshmen, that's a lot of students. Wow. Hats off to LSU. Y'all hold it down. Hats off to Sally Sunshine. Thanks so much for the $3 super sticker. Thank you very much. I'm sorry. Whoa, hold on. You didn't see my super chat. I thought I did. Please let me see. I am so sorry. Renee, please forgive me. Renee, I'm sorry. I apologize. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I'm sorry. I did not see that and I did not overlook it on purpose. So I apologize for that. Don't hold it against me, please. Don't hold it against me. Hold it against Taylor or President Firstborn. Hold it against them. But I really do appreciate y'all. You all are the best. Tomorrow is Sunday. I may very well do a live stream tomorrow, and we'll go over maybe Max Shard's opening statement, because I do think it was pretty good, and that might be fun to look at, as well as Little Rod's attorney's comments about his role in this RICO. which I think would be really good. So let's do that tomorrow. Y'all are not playing with Judge Whitaker. Judge Whitaker better watch out for the best live chat on the planet, because they are not playing with games with her at all. But I want to say again, thank you so much. I appreciate all that you all do, all that you add, to the value that you add to this live stream, the value you add to this channel. Thank you all very, very much. Y'all, Michelle, that's hurt my feelings right there. They got more people in the classroom than we had on campus, period, in a class. Yo, that is crazy. That is wild. I want to say thanks again. So let's do this again real soon. Like, let's do it tomorrow, Lord willing. So everybody have a beautiful Lord's Day on tomorrow. Enjoy your family, enjoy time resting and such like that. Because Monday, we got to get back in this courtroom. I'm hoping we'll get back in this courtroom. I'm going to double check, make sure nothing, and we'll double check and hopefully know by tomorrow if there's something going on, because we never really found out what was going on with the jury, why they kept canceling, the half day on Wednesday, no day on Thursday, no day on Friday. So we don't really know exactly what was the ins and outs on that. But hopefully we'll be back on Monday. And if not, we'll definitely. Yes. And we'll be back on Monday. Real quick, Watkins said this, and I think this is something to point out. Weinstein did ask the judge for time limits for the witnesses, but he got denied. Yes, and kind of no. So I think what Doug Weinstein wanted was something very much akin to what I was saying. Like, hey, you got 2 hours with this witness. You got 3 hours with this witness. Now, she didn't agree to that, but she did agree that she would start striking down cumulative testimonies or cumulative evidence. And all that means is this is stacking evidence on top of one another. So basically 4 people that say the exact same thing, or they say a very similar thing. There's no reason. Example would be the Infinity car guy. Now, shout out to him. He's doing whatever, and I'm not mad at him. But if they had like 4 of them, you'd be like, what's the purpose of that? With the Hertz rental car, this was early on in the trial. They had 4 people from Hertz rental car explaining how to rent a car. Why did we need that? That's cumulative. So I don't think that she denied it tacitly, but she kind of accepted some of the things he was saying in a roundabout kind of way, if that makes sense. But no, but so overall, she did shoot it down. However, it was some of it she did embrace, again, like the cumulative evidence, and she's sticking to that. And you hear it a lot, like she'll bring it up, or if somebody objects and they bring up cumulative, she shoots it down real quick. But so that was it. Thank you for that, Renee. That's a good point. And I do think there's a good way to remember that this, it's been a problem. Other people have called this out. It's not just Brian Steele. It's not just us saying what's going on with this. There have been other people. Again, Doug Weinstein has said, like, hey, this trial is going too long and it's arduous. Maybe we'll go back and look over Brian Steele, Doug Weinstein's motion for that, because it was well written. It was very clear. And I think a lot of the stuff that he mentioned, we now see in 4K. So I think that's something else that maybe we should look into that as well, just to remind us of where we've come from and how we got here. Oh, we got here because y'all kept dilly-dallying and tiptoeing through the tulips when you should have been hurrying and speed racing to get to the finish, because you're not in a hurry. But there's no motivation. There's no incentive. If Judge Whitaker said you lose the right to this witness because you're not ready, that would change the whole game, in my opinion. But y'all, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Shout out to everybody who's a part of the best live chat in the planet. We will do this again, Lord willing, tomorrow. We gotta get ourselves ready. We gotta get a game mode, get back in the get loose, because Monday we gotta get back in trial. So until then, everybody, I want to thank you all for stopping by tonight. Thank you so much for tapping in. Hit that like button on the way out the door. Let me know what you think about it. If you have anything comes up, shoot me an email. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace. Take care.